Hey, all my brothers, all my sisters, all my kings and queens. It's your boy Mduduzi coming back to you with another video. Today is Monday, the 15th of September 2025. The time is currently 5 to 6 p.m. So 5:55. You know my watch is 5 minutes ahead. Anyways, let's get right to it. I don't have much time before the sun goes down and the quality of the video gets bad, if I can put it like that. I want to talk about people are not self-aware. And I was thinking of a title because as much as I do make these videos for me, for future me to look back and watch them if I ever get that time, because I see time is of the essence. I do want to add value to you guys, and I want someone who has never seen my channel to be like, okay, that's value to me, and click the video. So I don't know how, or I don't think the title will drag a lot of people in here. But if you are in here, I just want to talk about something that's been in my spirit, right? I think I found the words for it when I say people are not self-aware. But it's been something I've been realizing, and it's very sad to see, right? I think this is where the verse applies in Ecclesiastic, where it says, which with much wisdom comes much sorrow, and much knowledge, much grief, if that's how it is said, right? But what I want to talk about honestly is like me, as you guys are seeing me. I am someone who, if I talk about myself from a third person point of view, but I know myself, right? So it's like when I assess myself, I've come so far in personal development, and for me, honestly, right, I've had to be someone who's self-aware and self-aware about everything in my life. So I thought it was just natural, right? Because I'm someone who is still broke, you know what I'm saying? Someone who, for the longest time, I was scared of girls not getting girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I wasn't enough, Just a lot of things made me self-aware, right? So with the more knowledge I've acquired, I understood that, okay, I have to self-invest, be aware of myself, on my journey of quitting my vices, conquering myself. I just had to be real with myself, on certain subjects and aspects. But I see people like this, and it's holding so many people back, right? And it's a sad thing to realize, because I see that people being not self-aware, right? Yes, I think it comes from, I've seen it a lot in people who don't have a good education, right? But sometimes you just ask yourself and you wonder, like, what's the cause? I know a lot of it, if I were to look at the people, it's a lack of education, a lack of knowledge, Not a lot of people I know read, and not just read any random topic, but like self-development. So it's like people are lacking, people are not self-aware. Like someone can complain to you about how they're earning peanuts but like they are not actively looking for another job. And obviously, I've got someone in mind I'm thinking of and I'm judging them, right? Which the Bible says not to do. But I do it just to portray how I'm feeling, right? And to explain this topic. This is what I see in a lot of people, and for me, it doesn't make sense. I don't judge people, but like I wonder why they've never taken the necessary steps. You know, I'm at an age where I understand it's like if I don't do what it takes, I'm just gonna have to accept reality and what life brings forth for me, right? Let other people make my decisions rather than me being the driving force. So I'm someone who's very self-aware. I'm someone who, I guess, because I know the Lord, I know the truth, I have the spirit of truth. I just see the truth for what it is. It's like, okay, I'm working this job because I applied there, and also because I am here because I haven't looked for better employment, right? And I can admit that to myself, right? When it comes to girls, I haven't gotten the girl I want because I haven't approached as many girls. Because it's a numbers game, right? The more knowledge you know, it's a numbers game. I haven't approached so many girls to find, out of all those girls, the girl that's looking for me, right? The girl that likes me. So it's like, I just don't get why people are not self-aware. You know, not being judgmental, but I asked this one girl where I work. I wanted to take the conversation a certain direction, but she took it another way, right? We ended up talking about, I asked, do you believe that there's only one life, right? And she's like, no, she believes in reincarnation. Then I asked her, I won't lie, it's funny. And no disrespect, but it's funny to think about. Then I asked her, how does she want to come back reincarnated, or how does she hope she comes back? And she's like, just as a human with more money, right? And you know, for me, I was so blown away that, you know, like, because I know the Lord, I believe the philosophy of Jesus Christ, the Father, being true, right? That Jesus is the way, the truth, the life, of heaven, of hell, of us reigning in God's kingdom. Also, I don't believe we're gonna be in heaven forever, because I can't say where the word says that, right? Because I've read the Bible. But yeah, you know, I believe in the Lord. So when she came with that philosophy, I was thinking, damn, she's far gone. I won't even lie to you. But I just wondered, like, if she's more self-aware, like, to really question her philosophy. You know, Game God Goldie is a brother who is not a Christian, if I could say, a quote-unquote Christian. But he said some real truths. He was like, okay, they say the Bible was written by God. But what they mean is the Bible was written by certain people, but it was God who spoke to them. So he has to believe that these certain people were truly honorable and wrote everything God wanted them to write without having, you know, malice. So that's what he has to set his belief on. He also had to say, isn't it crazy that people believe in a religion that they haven't read the whole book? And, you know, honestly, I always listen to people make their arguments, or I like hearing people make their arguments why they don't believe. So I'm able to counter that, right? So I'm able to give a proper reason why we should believe in the Lord. But yeah, those were some pretty good points. And I feel like if you're able to answer questions like that, that's where you're able to convince a brother or a sister who's in the darkness to be like, okay, I think what he said is true, so let me just check it out. But like, how many people haven't read the Bible? And yes, you can argue that we don't have time, but like, I don't believe in that, there's no time. That's BS. Like, for me, honestly, right now at this point in my life, I'm not as busy as I could be. But I know that from all the knowledge I've learned, right? I was recently listening to the audiobook of Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. So basically, it talks about prioritizing your most important tasks, right? And getting to them. As well as, one of the things Dr. Miles Monroe said is like, when they ask him how is he able to write so many books, he lives such a busy life, he said the secret is POD, right? So prioritize, organize, discipline. So with me, right, like I come across a lot of people, and for me, I already know, right? So whenever someone says this, I know that they don't value me enough just to prioritize me. That's what they mean. Not that they're busy. And even with girls, like if any guy says he's too busy, you know what I'm saying? Guys always have time. Like he just doesn't like you as much, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So when everyone says, I'm just so busy, I don't have time, I don't believe it, because when I look at my life, I'm able to sit down and be like, you know what, and be self-aware on what do I actually want, you know what I'm saying? And yes, the list is forever changing, but like I'm like, okay, I want to read the Bible. What do I have to do daily to read the Bible? And that's just sit down and read the Bible every day. Make sure you're reading the Bible. I'm someone who prioritizes friends, and I've seen that the brothers and sisters who don't prioritize me, it's simply because they don't want to. It's not that they're too busy. They just don't want to. And for me, it's no hard feelings, right? It's like, I know what it is. But it's like, people are just not self-aware, because saying all these things, right, that, you know what, I'm busy, just whatever you say, that's not really 100% truth to the listeners' ears. It makes me look at you different. You know what I'm saying? It's like if someone says to me, there are no jobs, I'm doomed to poverty. It just makes me look at you. It's like you're not self-aware to see that you the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yes, it might be hard to get a job, but there are definitely jobs. And people, they rely on opinions more than facts, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, everything is just about being self-aware. It's like, that's why I know I'm going to be successful, because I know I have 100% responsibility for my life, and I'm self-aware. The reason why, right now I have a gut, you know what I'm saying, or a young belly, but I haven't been doing workouts to get me a six-pack. So I don't expect it to just change without me doing nothing, The reason why I don't have that girl, the money I want, the car I have, it's on me. It's nothing around me. Yes, circumstances can make it more difficult, but it's all me. As a man thinketh, one of Game God's, I feel like it's his favorite book. He says it's like the Bible to him. But me, I listened to the audiobook, right? And it just made so much sense. Basically, one of the things James Allen, who's the author, he was saying, a righteous person doesn't just stumble upon crime. The idea has been in his mind, and circumstances merely brought it to pass. And same thing with me when I look at myself and my corn addiction, and you know what I'm saying, me not able to really retain a way of greeting the neighbor. It comes from how I look at myself, you know what I'm saying? Now that I've been looking at myself like a king, I'm able to treat women how they're supposed to be treated, right? Like, any woman thinks she's playing games with me, I just cut her off, because I'm a living legend, babe. I'm a king, you know what I'm saying? You see, let me switch the light on. It's already getting dark. But yeah, like, as a man thinketh, I know, like, right, if God willingly, I'm gonna die worth more than 100 million. That just comes now from how I think. And now, me acting that way, now I've been moving like I've got 100 million. It changes everything. And, you know, I remember when I dropped out of college, I had the mindset on some, I don't need college to make it, I don't need college to be successful in life, right? I always knew this. And maybe not today, but a time's gonna come where I'm extra successful, right? Super successful. And the reality is, I always knew, right? It's how I thought that, you know what, I was self-aware to know that, you know what, people are making it without college. Like my dad, you know, he's someone who, if I'm not wrong, dropped out in primary school. He moved to the big city, made a name for himself. And just, you know, being around my dad, he's someone who spoke Zulu, where this side is predominantly a white English-speaking area. And he was able to be successful regardless. I was able to see through all the BS. Yes, education is important, but you don't need it to be successful. And as well, like, if you're not doing a certain career that can take you to wealth, the only other way to wealth is starting a business. And school, you don't have to go to school to start a business. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, people have to be self-aware. You know, a lot of, let me just segue to this. A lot of inspiration that I've been getting is coming from the Alex Hormozis, the Russell Bransons, the Dan Martells. And specifically Alex Hormozi, right? They're all multi-millionaires, 100 millionaires, you know what I'm saying? And Alex Hormozi was saying, one of his tweets said, you have to just have self-belief. You have to trust in yourself. And I'm at that point where I understand it. It's like, everyone around me, for whatever reason, not everyone, but most people around me, for whatever reason, are settling in jobs they never wanted to do. And, you know, not to diss them, that's cool. That's stability for them. For me, I'm just like, how can I not want more out of life? How can I every day... You know, I'm just out here at home before recording this video. I'm like, I just can't continue living the same day. Like, no shade to my mom. That's what I feel like she be doing. And it just hurts so much, because I'm like, I can't be living the same day and accept it. You know, me earlier asking that girl, or, you know what I'm saying, the colleague at work, do you believe there's one life? If she had said yes, I wanted to say, why are you living like there's not one life? Because if you really believe that, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be stuck in this job. Honestly, if you just believe there was one life, which I also don't believe in, right? But like, if I believed in that there was one life, after that I'm gone, I would have been doing the most outrageous things out here, because it's one chance, you know what I'm saying? So It's like people who say that and then they still at like a low paying job. Not to judge them, right? But like, are we really standing on our convictions? You know, being self aware for me also is my character. It's like, am I really truthful to the core? Is my word really bond? You know what I'm saying? Do I say something and do it? Is my discipline where it needs to be? You know what I'm saying? Do I actually believe in myself? Do I believe what I'm saying, the goals I'm setting, right? Yes, anyone can say, yeah, I'm gonna be 100 millionaire. Am I actually taking the steps? That's why I love Cry No Homo so much. The brother, he's like, you can't 10x your goals and not 10x your work ethic. Are we actually improving? Are we really going for what life has to offer? You know what I'm saying? It's like, are we settling? Like, why settle? It's like, for me, you know, I'm still young, but I've had a couple girls show me interest. And for me, it was always a thing of, I could never accept an average looking girl because I know there are pretty women who've shown me interest, and it continues to be so that there's a lot of pretty women that show me interest. So I'm never gonna settle. Why? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? And the thing about settling that I don't like is pretty or average. She's basically still gonna treat you the same way. You know what I'm saying? If she likes you. So rather go with the pretty girl, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's be more self-aware of what we are eating. Just our realities is like, are really changing. You know, girls say they want a guy with ambition. And as much as I get it, like, now I understand, I'm like, how can you not have ambition as a guy, you know? I'm one with the females there, and obviously when they say ambition, they mean results. They want to see that you're already having it and already progressing. They don't want you to just have a strong mindset, obviously. But like, yeah, for me, it's like, how can you not want more for yourself? How can we see, one of the girls I follow on Instagram, she took a video of this other house. It's like in a secluded place. She's like, the reason to lock in. I'm like, how can I not want that for myself? How can I not want the Bentley coupe? How can I not want the gold? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I not want the jewelry, just the high life, and still want to be as close to God, as pure as possible as I can be? As much of a servant as I need to be to God, give my life away so He can use me. It's like, how can you not want the best for yourself? And for me, one thing I've realized before I end this video, right? I don't necessarily like gold diggers or girls like who want a high life. But then at the same time, I admire it, right? Like, I'm like, this girl is being truthful. She wants the good life. And with me also, that's one thing I've seen. It's like, I won't lie to myself. I want to be head to toe in Louis, to be head to toe in Gucci. I want the house, the millions. But I still want a life, dedicated to God. And if you're just going to lie about that, a lot of people say, I don't like brands. But everything is a brand, whether it's a Pick and Pay shoe, a Pep shoe, a cheap China shoe, everything is branded. Or rather say you don't want the recognized popular brands. But like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Let's be more self-aware. It's your boy signing out. Peace.